I try at least to give the advice about like Hollywood. Like everyone tells you, like they all tell you with a big old smile that you can do anything you want. You should make your dreams real and everything else like that. But the the reality is that like if you spend your life savings on, an apartment in Los Angeles for 2 years, um, you're gambling. You're making a massive gamble. Um, the unemployment rate for acting alone is the highest in of almost any industry. It's like 93%, 94%. Um, that's just one industry in LA, for example. But when it comes to AI imagery, like I don't have to worry about any of that stuff anymore. I could just see what sticks. And does it make me less imaginative? No. Um, Does it make me lazy? Yes. Yes, absolutely. Like I am taking solutions that I would not have done normally because they simply look better than what I was thinking that they would be. Now, does that make me less imaginative? I really don't think so. It really just comes down to um, me recalling back to like my younger self. I thought people were idiots because they wouldn't pick up certain, like this is obvious, everyone's going to love to buy this. That's why focus groups exist, you know what I mean? Like they exist for a reason, because people's assumptions are and biases are the reason why projects fail and things don't make sense or whatever. So at least for me, I find the benefit to be you guys actually chatting with me. um it prevents me from going down too many rabbit holes. um, so maybe less precision and more adventurous. Yes, yes. The precision really comes in when I have a project file. Right now, there's no project file. We're just collecting footage. We're essentially what we're doing here is the same thing that you would be doing in film, which is it's a combination of like scouting and filming and production and everything else that kind of happens at the same time. But um, we're just collecting dailies. We're collecting footage that we would then cut together into a longer piece. But there's so much more we can do than just put blocks of footage side by side. We can overlap things in ways that make things super seamless. And we'll get to there. Just being able to send all this at once to Pika is intense, right? Like um I feel like an animation studio. Not that okay. No, 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 no. I should rewind. If I don't want to say that. Not animation. But specifically not animation because animation is like something that requires so much more intent than what we're doing here. Animators are going to be speaking much more to the audience like a cartoonist, as opposed to what a filmmaker is doing, which is trying to stitch together or make the illusion of reality. Cartoonists are trying to represent reality. They're trying to do something a little bit different than what we're doing here. So this is the reason, and what makes this look so unique, by the way, is the fact that this is quite literally filmmaking, filmmaking within an animated world, like an animated medium, right? Now, this particular shot is not very good because every time the flame flares out, the face actually distorts a little bit. But we got some new footage here. I definitely want to emphasize this sort of like entry gate that she has here. Awesome, awesome. Okay, now we have an overhead shot. Wow. All right, so we got some chit chattering, some talking and movement. Uh, I'll say this. I know that it's super impressive to watch characters talking. Whenever you see this stuff. My only caveat to that is that PikaLab stuff still needs to have a sort of sense of like the head and movement of the shoulders, that they communicate so much to us. Like it's our body language, let alone the fact that our cheeks move. Like you notice that my little VTuber guy here, I made sure that there was two layers on the bones to make sure my chin jumps up and down a little bit when to make more room for my mouth when I'm talking. Little things like that, Pico Labs has trouble with, and it comes down to like little anime tropes too. Like there's just sometimes you know, some lazy animation that goes on that it's referencing, right? So with this, we can go like, oh wow, that's a lot of wind. Like let's drop the movement a little bit there to like M2. Like so let's drop it to M2 here. And I'm curious if it's like gonna give us, so we'll just re-roll that one too. Okay. All right, we got walking through the desert here. This will probably end up being a pan. This one looks like a pan to me. A future pan. Wow. Okay. Let's go ahead and I'm just gonna play this one on loop with a song in the background just to kind of set the tone here. So look at this. This is what got me so excited about this project, by the way. The way the leaf falls from her knuckle and the fact that her knuckle is visible now from behind the leaf that falls in the water blew my mind in a way. Like there's already crazy shots that we have already captured here tonight, but that that's just bonkers because I can go in, drop the contrast a little bit of that knuckles so that it's a little, honestly, a little prettier, right? Because it's the only kind of crinkly finger now in that regard. But it's with because it's so many little dainty, like little dainty hands, so I wanna respect the dainty hands, but I also want to be able to see a little bit of that knuckle. So what I would do is I would take all the darkness out of it and drop the contrast in the knuckle. Um, and I will say that when it's simulating, the thing that also kind of blows my mind, the fingers are going into the water to the point where when the palm touches the water at the very end of the shot, it actually spreads out the water line too. Look at that. Boof. Oof. What's really cool about this one is the leaf gets caught in the hat on the top, and it can't escape the hat because of the convex or like the low, like this. This is what people don't understand when I try to explain to them why this stuff is not photo bashing, because it has an understanding of three-dimensional space in a way that there's no way that this would be a photo bash. Um, I forgot who it was exactly, but someone gave an example of prompting Legos in a bowl of hot soup. Um, if it was just a photo bash, it would be Legos that are floating in liquid, and they prompted it, and the Legos, because they were, it knew they were made out of plastic. The Legos were melting in the soup and becoming like soft. There's no way, like, that is all inferred. There's no prompt telling them to make the Legos all melty and soupy. The leaf getting caught into the top of the hat there and not being able to escape from the hat, at least in my opinion, this is grain of salt here, is an example of this intelligence in action, where it's not doing a photo bash, it's not just slamming a bunch of random video clip elements together. It is having an inherent understanding of it. So this is awesome. Great to see.